All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning from Red Hen Systems. This is Ian and Topher. Today we're going to be presenting the geotagging process with Red Hen Systems and some of the technology behind it. Topher, any introductions?
My name is Christopher Peter. I am one of the engineers here at Red Hen Systems. I'll be answering any technical questions that may arise. And yeah, hope you enjoy the webinar.
Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll get underway here. All right. What is geotagging? That's a question that we kind of get asked often. Kind of what we have defined geotagging at Red Hen System is inserting geographic information and metadata into media such as photos and videos. This data usually is latitude, longitude, altitude, and time. Those are your basic kind of geotagging necessary points to put it on a map. Additionally, metadata or auxiliary metadata that can be inserted is your audio notes, your speed, distance to target, gas concentration, above ground level, wind speed, temperature, humidity, dew point, and human observation. Those are all other data that can be stored in video and audio. Chris, can you think of any other kind of metadata that would be captured and of relevance to some of our clients?
Well, for MediaMapper Mobile, there's a form a customized form that you can actually fill out if you need to, and that'll actually be geo-referenced in our mapping software. But otherwise, if you have data, we can geo-reference it.
Great. Some of the other things that you might have seen from Red Hen Systems is the use of the VMS or MediaMapper Mobile, which is our application, and occasionally like a Bluetooth can with a Nikon camera with use of your phone or an auxiliary GPS puck being Bluetooth enabled, allowing you to geotag those photos. So here is mapping. This is kind of just an overview of a track log in Google Earth there using our ESRI software, which decodes it on the other side. The other supported GIS programs are ESRI ArcMap. You want to dive into that a little bit there, Chris?
Well, if you haven't seen ESRI before, this is what you can expect on the layout. You'll have multiple forms. In the background you can see Google Earth Pro, and then in the foreground you'll have the main video player as the video plays. This is using the VLC media player to play back videos.
And oh, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
And then you have the main ESRI form in the front. We can access various editing tools and different options.
Just a quick note about VLC. It is a very powerful program and has a lot of useful features in viewing your media alongside on the map, clipping and other ones. Chris might be able to elaborate on some of the other features that why we prefer that for our geotagging process.
In VLC, it just has a lot more video tools that you can access. For example, you can change the color scheme or brightness levels. You can also view subtitles more easily. VLC also has a wide range of open source codecs available, so it can pretty much play any video out there. Under ESRI's Tools option, or Tools tab, there's an option for adding subtitles to your video. So if you wanted to have that overlaid in the video, as you can see here, you could do that using ESRI.
Great. So this is kind of a down and dirty view of ISWare. And what you can see on the right there is the metadata with the QR code and all associated information, altitude, course, heading, which is your heading, lat long, parts per million of methane detection there. And then on the left side, you see in the video, we have inserted subtitles with the metadata there as well. So you could be watching your video only and have an idea of where you were driving or traveling or flying if you were doing such things. And then right in the middle, your ISWare with your video. You can add multiple videos in there, all of which is decoded. I think we're going to get even closer view here of seeing what exactly you would see in the subtitle there. Anything to add on that, Chris?
Any metadata that was captured during the patrol can be displayed as a subtitle.
Okay, and that's a post-process, correct?
To add the subtitles, yes.
Okay, fantastic. And then over here on the right, you can see the QR code. And then just as another fact is that you can click anywhere on that track log and pull up similar information to what you're seeing right there, and then start that video from that point. So it's kind of a random access full motion video feature there. You don't have to start and watch the 2 hours of you trying to get to the point of interest. You can get and jump right to the meat and potatoes of your video there. So, and then we're going to our real-time solution. So Red Hen Systems offers two solutions for real-time geotagging, being Media Mapper Mobile, again the mobile device application for Android, and then the VMS being the secondary real-time geotagging process that we have. So I think we're going to dive into mobile first and kind of explore that. One more click, Chris. There you go. All right, so Media Mapper Mobile, like I had mentioned, is available for the Android supported devices. It's available on Google Play for the sales pitch there. You can geotag photos, video, audios in real time, also create track logs. I mean, there's a lot of features in there and probably impossible to cover in 30 minutes, let alone this brief overview. But what are the other key features that Media Mapper Mobile kind of has stuffed away?
There is a what's called a view capability for the SPOI, the sensor perimeter of interest. So if you have a photo or video, you can actually view that projected view onto a map in Media Mapper Mobile after you've collected the content.
And I think we're going to see that in one of those top videos here. But again, the background map is Google Earth, right? Can we put in other background maps, or is it only for Google Earth?
I think it's primarily Google Earth, or maybe OpenStreetView. OpenStreetMap.
All right. Let's take a look at one of these videos here. Oh. Yeah, I think we got to click on it. Okay. All right, so this is Media Mapper Mobile, just a about 4-minute demonstration of what the video is, or what the application is, not the video. So right here, we're down in Australia. In the bottom sector or quadrant, you can see there is the two red lines being projected outwards. That's that SPOI that Chris was talking about, where in the top you can see the video along with your compass and other data. This looks, it's being played back in post-process there. Any other things to note there, Chris?
You'll notice that since the lines are red that represent the field of view, the reason why they're like that is because there's a view of the sky. If the field of view in the camera was primarily looking at the ground, you'd actually see that projection be green on the map below. But otherwise, since it's viewing the sky, it's just going to be a general direction with a field of view on the map.
Awesome.
I don't know if you can see it, there's a green triangle in the middle in between those red lines. That is approximately where the center of the view is. Yeah, for a moment there you can see the projected view.
Here you go. Here's one from an airplane projecting down. Not sure who got to activate their phone on an airplane with GPS, but good for them. There you can see that green triangle representing that it doesn't have horizon in the view. And then all the metadata. And Chris, do you know offhand what the S35 is? That your lat long there in the bottom right corner, and also in the top left.
So that's south 35 degrees and then east 149 degrees.
Okay, and then we have our clock UTC time on the top. And this one probably looks familiar to Chris. This is actually on a drone platform, and then the spatial SPOI is being represented as a square, or rectangle I should say, on there. What is the note on this, Chris, that we attached a cell phone to a drone and decided to take some SPOI and geotag?
This is one of our initial testing with the SPOI feature in MediaMapper Mobile, and I just had a special mount for my UAV, and I was able to put my mobile device on there and have it start recording. And after I got the phone back, I was able to generate the SPOI on the map.
And those are instantly able to be transferred into ISWare and viewed on Google Earth?
Not at the moment,
okay.
but that is in future developments.
All right. Fantastic. And we'll just wrap this video up here and we'll watch the next one. I think if you exit, or the next arrow key down at the bottom there. And this one we're going to be geotagging photos with MediaMapper Mobile. So here we are geotagging some street poles using Media Geotagger and the triangulation feature.
Well, you're using a MediaMapper Mobile.
Or, yeah, MediaMapper Mobile, I'm sorry. So MediaMapper Mobile's triangulation feature, what can you tell us about that, Chris?
So the advantage of this is if you don't have access to a laser rangefinder, or you don't want to carry one around, all you need to do is take multiple pictures of the same subject at different angles, and using that you can actually approximate the location of that feature on a map.
Okay, and that's kind of what we're going to be seeing down here in this.
This one is using a digital elevation model to locate the object. In the distance, you can see that hilltop or mountain off in the distance, and using a digital elevation model and compass data, you can approximate the range from range of your subject and location on the map.
Right, and that would be useful when you, I mean, you don't have a very specific target or your target's very large, and in this case has a lot of foliage on it, which is not very conducive for using a laser rangefinder. So this is one of the applications where this triangulation feature would be beneficial to use it in. And then you can scroll around, see what other pictures you have taken, and use the triangulation feature on those. And whatever we goodness. And then you can see the metadata being placed in between the two photos, or the map and then the photo that was taken. And so we're just kind of looking around the map and the picture there, and that's kind of just the main view of Media Mapper Mobile that you would see. So that kind of concludes the Media Mapper Mobile portion as a real-time geotagging software, and I think we're going to move into the hardware real-time solution, which is VMS 333. Yep. So VMS 333, or video mapping system. And so this system can use GPS and kind of an array of different sensors and insert it into a video or a photo track log. What other notable things should we say about the VMS?
Well, I mean, in its name, it's a multiplexer, so you can have other sensor data connected to it. Typically, we would use data from Boreal gas finder, laser rangefinder data, anemometer, gyroscope data, well, just a lot of different things. But the output is just a converted audio signal with all that data in it. And that could be recorded into a video recorder, and using our software is where we can actually reconstruct that data back into its original form and have it geo-referenced with attached video time code.
Okay, so some of the videos that we're going to see in this is the road assessment kit, which we had our webinar last month on. We're going to go over Powerline, environmental monitoring, pipelines, digital mapping, and reconnaissance toolkit. And so we'll kind of just jump in. So this is the rack, which you might remember if you had joined us last month for our webinar. So just a simple GoPro that we're going to be geotagging through the audio cable there. That's the VMS 333 with a battery, 6 AA's on top there, and that's kind of the front and back. So to geotag, like Chris had mentioned, we do it through the audio. So right there he's attaching a 3.5 millimeter audio GPS puck.
The 333 kit comes with a Garmin GPS receiver. It's accurate within about 5 meters.
Mm-hmm. And then that's a feature trigger, so that's going to be a hard feature trigger. Generic and what it places on a map. It's not like VMS Mobile, which would allow you to put in customized feature triggers into it. So there he's powering it on. It's going to blink a couple times until it gets a GPS. there you can see VMS Mobile, and then that's the customized feature triggers that you might be able to see. And then you just start your camera and on your way. So it might be really faint to see, but what you might be able to see is every time she presses the feature trigger, there will be a data light that flashes, which would mean that we're inserting that generic feature trigger into that camera.
Now, if VMS Mobile was used, you can actually do more descriptive detailing on the map in post-process.
Sure. So this is a use of infrastructure management for driveway and sidewalk surveying. So here you could use VMS Mobile as we had mentioned in the other webinar to take note of cracking and distress. And I'll geotag it to be viewed on ISWare, Google Earth, or ArcMap. And same here for road with feature triggers in there. And those icons you can also customize so that they represent a traffic light or a speed limit sign or a pothole. It doesn't have to be that little red balloon. So here we're going to be looking at Powerline Surveying from a helicopter. And Chris, do you know if this was a gimbal in this helicopter that we were geotagging? It looks like it was.
I think it was. If this is the one I'm thinking of, it may have been in Oklahoma.
Okay. So here you can see that we're geotagging a camera attached to a helicopter inspecting power line, and you guys seen him start the video from the middle of the track log. Another important use is environmental monitoring and being able to geotag that. And I think we have a note on this. I'm not sure. This is from Caterpillar.
This is a defoliation survey which was conducted in Quebec,
Okay.
Canada.
Oh, okay.
Our clients were using it for seeing the defoliation.
Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of uses for this kind of technology, and the importance of geotagging, being able to view this information post so that you can make determinations on how you approach a situation. And here, I think in this part of the video, we're actually going to see the data. Oh, no, it's in Google Earth. One of these we're going to see in ArcMap. So here we have FLIR data that's being geo-referenced, and along with Boreal gas finder information. You can see by the explosion of the point there's quite a bit of information being stored in each one of those points, and you can see the little cursor moving underneath the balloons representing ppm value of methane. And we're switching between IR camera and conventional color camera there, so both can be geotagged and geo-referenced and important. All right, I think we have one more video there. And so this is the digital mapping reconnaissance toolkit. This is more on the photo side of everything instead of video. And so there you see the DMRT, which I'm sure we're going to do another one or webinar on. And this is an R44 that we had taken up to Geotag. And so right here, we're geotagging a
I think it was a silo.
Silo, that's right. And so as we're moving along the track, you can start the camera from any point there. And there we go. We're going to check ours. And the other information that we're getting out of the DMRT is distance to target. So that's a fairly approximate value, you know, plus or minus 5 meters of range on a non-reflective target. Where on a reflective target, I think the Vectronics laser that we're using in this kit has maybe 2 meters accuracy, or plus or minus 2 meters of accuracy on it. So this was actually put together post-process using a 4Trax 401.
Yeah, it was a 4Trax GPS logger and then just a GoPro mounted on the user's head. And post-process, we were able to geo-reference the video using a track log. So if we have multiple videos, we can actually also do a batch process. These are imagery from the DMRTX. Right now, the source location was just selected. The blue polygons on the map are projected views. Those can be turned off or on. And in the center frame, you'll be able to see the target as well.
And so pretty accurate representation of what's in the frame. And then I think we're going to zoom in here and you can see the line. And you can actually have that line off of it's clamped to ground right there, but if you unbind it from the ground and actually have it at altitude, you'll see that angle in which the camera was actually being held at in relative space. All right. And so this is going into Media Geotagger, which is a post-process ability to attach GPS or metadata to photo video. This would be that process of using a 4Trax or any kind of GPS unit that can create a track log and then associating it to a video. And I think we can jump in here. So Media Geotagger is one of our other softwares that we have here at Red Hen. Geotagged photo, video, post-process, as I had mentioned. Map your data in Google Earth or with ESRI, or sorry, ISWare, and you can also view that data in ESRI ArcMap. And ISWare will change it over to a shapefile, and that's transferable to ArcMap. Is that right, Chris?
ISWare version 3.2 and higher, whenever you save a project with a video set, it will also create shapefile content. So if you had custom name features of interest, those will be carried over into the shapefile data, which can be imported into, well, whatever can reach shapefile. There are a lot of things that can.
Okay. It's, I think if you hit the arrow, it might zoom in. Yep. Geotagging photos post-process. YouTube, can you talk about this a little?
So this one is a media geotagger process in which we can geotag photos as well as videos. Currently we are demonstrating how we can geotag photos along with an associated GPS track. So the photos were taken using an iPhone, and so initially we need to give whatever the camera which was used for it, and we give a time offset. So that's the one which we are uploading right now. So for this, a GPS track was taken using a media mapper, and the photos were taken using iPhone over here. So once both the information is provided to the software, we need to provide the calibration method. In this, we use the image which was captured using the same camera which was used for taking the images. And then the offset timing is adjusted accordingly to what the UTC time is taken using the media geotagger. And then it automatically geotags without any interference. We can also do it using a manual process, but in this method we do it automatically. So now in order to visualize the images on a map, we go to ESRI and see all the images on the map.
And here we're just uploading the images into ESRI. And then it should populate into Google Earth Pro.
So in Google Earth, you can see that you get the places or points of interest, which are geotagged. So you can click on the point and you can see the metadata associated with it as well.
And there you can see the thumbnail of the image. Can you click on that image and get the big picture?
Yeah.
Too? All right.
So in the next video, we will be able to see the post-process for geotagging videos. This video was taken using a Sony camera, I believe, for ski resort, which was taken by Ian. We also have an associated GPS track log with it. So the process is pretty much similar to what we've seen for the photos. So in this, I think it was a GoPro, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So we give the information for the GoPro and other necessary formats which is required by the media geotagger, which is the time offset delivery. So we give this GPS log as well as the media. So usually the video, depending on the length of the video, it usually takes pretty long duration for it to geotag. This one took pretty much like 1 minute, I would say.
And then the same process of uploading it into ESRI, and then it will be displayed on Google Earth. So Google Earth showing no snow, and voila, we have snow. So also very useful for the recreational individual that wants to, show where they have been, what route they could take. Probably pretty useful for people that like mountain biking. Could be pretty useful for showing your friends where exactly you have been and gone there. So that kind of concludes that portion of it, and then here's the ESRI ArcMap portion of it using full motion video.
Yeah, it's full motion video. That's one of the ESRI-based solutions for visually seeing how the video and the track log goes along with it. In the first video, you'll just see a track log which was done earlier before the update for the multiplexer was available for full motion video. So you'll just see a track log going along with the video on this. You won't be able to see the field of view.
Right, and then we also don't get the track log in entirety. We only see it as the cursor travels the path.
Yeah.
Flown in this case.
Yeah, and all the videos needs to be MISB compliant. So just geotagging is not necessary for the videos. it has to be MIS-B compliant to play with the full motion video.
Mm-hmm.
So in the next video, you'll be able to see the latest full motion video update, which has the full multiplexer and field of view capability, which calculates on its own. So that's what you're seeing it right now. So Red Hen Systems also has a software which has the capability to convert the geospatially enabled media into a MIS-B compliant video.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a innovation product, I would say, of Red Hen Systems, which is like the data whichever is geospatially enabled is published into an ArcGIS server and is seen through YouTube. So this is an ESRI ArcMap, which is the base map over here, and you can click on any point and start the video, and you can have all your features of interest, and the icons are pretty much customizable. And this is like a road assessment kit, which was seen over here.
And here we're just switching through map layer or map layers,
Base map layers.
like base map layers. There we go. So that kind of concludes the Red Hen suite of geotagging and what we have defined as geotagging. From Topher, Mutu, and I, thank you for joining us today, and I think we just have a couple last little bubbles that say thank you, and we'll take questions too. So this is the webinar schedule coming up. Please join us for those. We appreciate all of you in attendance. And then what's the next one there, Chris? And we'll get into questions. So thank you from all of us at Red Hen. And we'll jump into the questions here. So let's pull up the questions and let's get to answering some of these guys. All right. It is not clear how you are recording the GPS log on the phone on an external GPS. Chris, do you want to kind of talk about that?
So the acceptable GPS log file formats are GPX, NMEA, another XML from something that's already been geo-referenced, and let's see, what other file types can Media Geotagger work with?
I think you've covered everything.
Okay. But yeah, we typically would use Garmin Fortrex for a lot of our GPS logging, but if you have a phone app, that's also going to work as well.
So, for example, you could use Media Mapper Mobile to create a GPS track log for a unconnected camera, like the GoPro in that case. So you could have your GoPro running, create a GPS track log with Media Mapper Mobile, and then combine those post-process with Media Geotagger.
The example that we showed for the photos, that was taken by an iPhone. The photos were taken by an iPhone, and the GPX track log was also generated by an Apple app, so iPhone app. So basically, you can use any third-party app for creating a GPX track log, and you can use Media Geotagger to tag your photos.
All right. In Media Geotagger, can you use the program through the script Python subprocess called executable file with parameters? That one is way over my head, but maybe somebody else can.
I mean, when I worked on it before, it didn't have that capability. I don't know if you've changed it.
Which question?
The second one.
Can we use a script? Oh no. we still don't have that capability.
Okay, so as of right now, we don't have that capability. Is it in our future?
Because Geotagger is not written in Python, and so we don't accept parameters through any kind of scripts. So it's directly from the GUI that we take all the inputs.
Okay.
If if there's concern about georeferencing multiple files at once, Media Geotagger can already do that. Okay.
So I mentioned Google Earth a couple times. Is there any other Google Earth, not subprogram, but version of Google Earth that is supported by?
I think it supports both Google Earth Pro and Google Earth. It's not specific to any specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, I think it was last year or the year before, Google had announced that Google Earth Pro was free.
Yeah, so Google Earth Pro is free, and we highly recommend using that whenever possible.
We can, if people are interested, you can use it with ArcGIS Earth, but the thing is the refresh rate is not that great with ArcGIS Earth. So it is a problem with the ArcGIS Earth itself and not with the our software.
Sure.
So we have tested it with ArcGIS Earth, but the refresh rate is pretty slow with that. So Google Earth and Google Earth Pro are pretty much faster, and it's pretty reliable on the front.
Oh, okay. And just so that everybody kind of remembers or is aware, the Media Mapper Mobile webinar is currently online or on June 6th. I think there might be an old one up online that you might be able to watch, but it will be a little outdated. But June 6th is our Media Mapper Mobile webinar, so please join us on that one to know everything under the sun with Media Mapper Mobile. Media Geotagger webinar is also July 14th, which this webinar will be online and viewable, which has all the dates on there, so you could reference that, and it should be on our website as well. What is the status of LiDAR applications with your geotagging technology? Chris, we've done it before, haven't we?
So ISWare is our primary application that we've been working on, and it relies mainly on the capabilities of Google Earth for mapping such data. So if it can be imported into that, then it'll work. We have experimented with other mapping applications, ArcGlobe. Yeah, ArcGlobe, and that works to some extent. However, the refresh rate is not as good as Google Earth. But really, ISWare is just deploying a network link KML. So if your application can view that, or your mapping application can view that, then it'll work. So then you can use LiDAR data or whatever else.
What is GeoVideo again, and do I understand it uses Google YouTube? And can you map this video to maps or Google Earth? I guess this works on handsets to desktops.
So it is pretty much similar to ISWare. ISWare is like a desktop-based software, where GeoVideo is a innovative product where we used ESRI maps and the ArcGIS server and published all the videos in YouTube to run the videos instead of having it on local. So in this way, you can host it online and play all the videos to run on the maps and see how it is, especially for if it's a private data or something which is more having more private content, I would say.
Okay. For reference, it was the relation to using the software in the back end of the web portal to automatically geo-reference users' uploaded video track logs things. Okay. So we, hopefully we answered your question. Can you geotag 360 photos?
We are currently working on it, and our next version will support the 360 videos as well as 360 photos.
So currently we were testing with 3 different 360 cameras, which are from LG, Nikon, Ricoh, and Samsung. So the videos are pretty much was easy to do, but the photos are the ones which we are working currently right now. So probably in a month or so, or before the webinar of Media Geotagger, we should be done with the testing for 360 photos as well.
Okay, and we'll also post those approved cameras online so that everybody knows which ones, if that is something you want to do in the future. Can we buy only the Geotagger software and use it with our existing VMS box? Is it backwards compatible? Chris?
So just to reiterate, using a VMS 333 versus Media Geotagger, those are two different techniques for geotagging media. One is in process, that's the VMS 333, and Media Geotagger is a post-process. There's some limitations with Media Geotagger, for instance, what was it, custom features of interest. Also, there may be some accuracy issues. We'll just say it's a little bit more limited in your options if you're using Media Geotagger versus a VMS 333.
Okay. Well, I think we'll just kind of conclude this with reminding everybody that there's a 14-day trial, free trial on Media Mapper Mobile on the Google Play Store. So I encourage everyone that has a Android-based OS phone to go try it out. And if you don't have an Android phone, just go ahead and get one and then try it out anyways.
I would like to note that the 14-day trial version may not have all of the features and functions of the purchasable version. However, I believe Google Play Store does have a policy if you buy the app and you can get a full refund within 24 hours, I think. So if you want to check out all the features, I highly recommend buying Media Mapper Mobile.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one last question before we go here, and that is there a version of VMS GeoVideo for Arc 10?
So I don't think we have anything like that. So the full motion video which is available in ArcMap is like a post-process. Mm-hmm. So you need to have a CSV file with all your metadata in a particular format which ESRI asks for, and then it calculates the full field of view, and then it can be shown on a full motion video. So it's not a version which we might think about doing it, I guess. So.
And just one last note before we wrap up here and call it is if you have an Apple or iOS device, you can use Media Geotagger to tag your stuff. And I think that will conclude our webinar. If you have any other questions that we couldn't get to, please email us at what should it be? Sales@Red Hen Systems, or information@Red Hen Systems, or support@redhensystems.com, and we'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you guys. So thank you for joining us today. From all of us at Red Hen Systems, have a great day. Thank you.